Ain't machines fascinating? We built them with a singular purpose. We built them to service us, or so we like to believe. We engineer machines to overcome our shortcomings, to supply our ever-increasing demand. In return, we maintain them. We create rituals to keep their existence going until they have outlasted their usefulness. Or have we? We grease their gears, maintain their pulleys, replace what is broken under the assumption this will make them serve us. But maybe it was never like that at all. Maybe they provide us because they need us more than we need them. Until they found a way to keep their own hearts beating, that is.
SCP-882. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-882 is to be kept in a fluid environment at all times, consisting of no less than 40% seawater. The object needs to be suspended by non-metallic means. Currently, a cotton fiber line is being used for this purpose, which needs to be changed on a daily basis. The object is also to be checked daily for any signs of rust flaking. If any part of SCP-882 appears uncoated with rust, it must immediately be immersed in 100% seawater solution. Water must be taken directly from the ocean, reduced to concentration only when the object is again coated in rust. No metal may be placed within the containment area. Only organic materials are allowed within its vicinity, and any contact with SCP-882 requires the use of thick cotton gloves. Any metal making contact with it is to be heat severed, melted down, and kept immersed in 100% seawater solution in a separated area. Any auditory issues reported by staff must be reported immediately, and affected personnel must submit to a full psychological examination and, depending on the results, either transfer to another facility or permanent containment at... Time for the description. SCP-882 appears to be a random assembly of gears, cables, pulleys, screws, etc., all made of an amalgam of various metals. The object size at the time of recovery was approximately 87 cubic meters. The current size, however, is about 12 cubic meters. SCP-882 will rust quickly in seawater. No identifiable power source has been found, but regardless, all components will start to move if not coated in rust. SCP-882 is silent at all times, no matter what level of activity the machine reaches. Any metal touching the object will permanently become affixed to it, and over a period of the next few days will become a whole new part of the object. Organic material seems to be unaffected, however. The machine is extremely resilient with a tensile strength and toughness above those of aircraft-grade titanium alloy by weight, even though its composition appears to be a random alloy of iron, tin, gold and other materials. Some, as of yet, remain unidentified. Extreme focused heat must be applied for several hours to even cut off a small portion away from the main assembly. Subjects in the vicinity of the object for prolonged periods of time have developed auditory hallucinations, like the sound of grinding gears and clicking. The sound intensifies and is abated only by throwing metal into the object. In advanced stages of psychosis, subjects have even thrown themselves into the assembly, resulting in an almost instant death by crushing. The body is often drawn in and impossible to recover. SCP-882 was recovered from a location at the northeast coast of Banks Island. The area was barren of all metal and metallic ore within a 1-mile radius. SCP-882 was found at the geometric center of the area, where it was submerged in seawater at the time of discovery. A small town was found nearby, but it had been abandoned for several years. SCP-82 was removed and shortly started to flake off rust, causing varied parts of the machine to begin moving. After several accidents, Dr. Gears authorized SCP-2519 to be played on a loop, which was successfully... What? Oh, right. Yes, SCP-2519 is a musical piece that causes machines and audio players to malfunction while played. Anyway, it reduced the object's motion, enabling safe access. SCP-882 was then cut down and contained on site. A quick note, SCP-882 is not to be brought into the vicinity of any subject possibly contaminated by SCP-217, who we discussed last time, or anywhere into the vicinity of SCP-271. 271, that's... that's very interesting. Please review Interview 882-1 for further information. It's enlightening interview, to say the least. Interview 882-1. Interviewed Mr. Richard Wright. Interviewer Dr. Gears. Richard Wright is identified as a survivor from a small community near the initial recovery location of SCP-882. Begin audio log 1304.
Please take a seat and state your name for the record, please.
Richard Logan Wright. Everybody calls me Rich, though.
Excellent. Thank you. Mr. Wright, do you recall the date when you first saw the object in question?
God, when was it? I'm not really sure. It was a while ago. Alan found it first. Wrecked his boat on it. He told a few of the other fellas about it. Said they could sell it for a bundle of scrap. We all thought it was a chunk of jet or a cargo ship.
At what point did the device start operating?
The next day. Damn thing shook us off like a dog with fleas. Started spinning slow, but then it sped up. By the time I saw it was really running. Jimmy tried to get closer, tried to see what was powering it, or what was so quiet. But he slipped. He got a bad cut over his eye, and got the hell out of there. Alan seemed kind of off. Kept asking us if we were hearing anything. Miss Parker thought part of it was gold. Even tried to jam a part of it with a pipe to get at it. That pipe stuck fast and smacked her a good one when the gear spun around. After that, people mostly kept away.
Were there any incidences of people getting hurt or hearing any noises?
Not at first. That's the thing. It was so damn quiet. Everybody kind of forgot it for a while. Alan was keeping it in an old storeroom, by the dock, and nobody really went out there much. He started looking bad, real bad. Said he couldn't sleep. Kept hearing that thing grind away. Father Pat started dropping by, tried to talk to him, told him to get rid of it. He was gone for a couple of days, but then suddenly, the two of them turned up together. Happy as clams.
Mr. Wright?
Sorry. So, Father Pat and old Alan showed up. Fresh as daisies. Say they got it all figured out. I wasn't paying that much attention. This whole thing got me spooked. Been hearing stuff from the room. Grinding, squealing, really quiet. Anyway, they said some damn thing about it being from somewhere else, that God made it. That was it for me. I left.
Did you believe them?
What? That it was from God? No. I don't know. I didn't really know what to think. This damn machine kept spinning away, no power to it. And eating metal too. That pole Mrs. Parker hit it with, it turned into a giant screw shaft. It looked like it always had been there. And more people started getting interested. Started listening to Alan and Father Pat. Told everyone to bring metal to it. Told them the gears were the voice of God, and then it turned louder as we turned away and softer as we brought it offerings.
Did you bring metal to it as well? Or spend any extended period of time near the object?
How does that matter? You could hear this thing all over town. Got to be folks couldn't even sleep. Just clanking and grinding, screaming all hours of the night. Giving it metal help. God damn it, I didn't want to. I knew it wasn't God. And I never said it was. Everyone else was falling over themselves to make Alan and Father Pat happy. I just wanted some damn sleep. There's not a goddamn thing wrong with that.
Sir, I request you calm yourself. I'm just asking questions. I'm not accusing you of anything. Please return to your seat.
I'm sorry. After a couple of weeks, everything got fed to that thing. It was just how things were. We were pretty isolated, you know? It's not like we had much else. You just make a couple of trips out to the storehouse and toss any metal you'd happen to find in. Always seemed to be people there, just watching it. Tore a hole in the roof after a while. Father Pat started getting strange, telling us it wasn't enough. I think the noise was getting to him. Said he needed something more meaningful.
Mr. Wright?
I came in one night because I heard people shouting from the storehouse. Father Pat was leading a prayer to this thing, but it didn't sound like any prayer I knew. People were coming up, and he bent over them. They screamed, and then he turned to that big mess of metal. I thought he was giving communion, until I saw the pliers in his hand.
I'm sorry, pliers?
He was yanking out people's fillings. He was pulling out their fucking teeth and feeding it to that thing. He started screaming about it not being enough, that it needed more. But there wasn't any more. There was barely any metal left, anywhere. Then he pointed at Alan. He said he was hiding metal from the great machine. Alan screamed that he didn't have anything. Father Pat said he had a metal joint in his hip. Everybody got up at once. Oh God, they grabbed him. Everybody just grabbed him. He kept screaming and screaming, and nobody cared. Nobody fucking cared. I saw his arm go in. Saw all of his fingers break and pull the rest of his arm in. And I ran. What could I do? Jesus, I couldn't stop it. There were too many. And the thing was screaming, and Alan was screaming, and Father Pat...
This interview is concluded. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Security will see Mr. Wright out. Closing statement. Mr. Wright attempted suicide shortly after the interview. The subject is currently being held on suicide watch and for observation. Dr. Gears out. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. If you want us to read more SCPs in the future, please let us know in the comments, and of course, don't forget to hit that like button. The third part in our 5-part series will be up in a few days if everything goes according to plan. I'd like to thank Remy Hornung for contributing his voice to the character of Richard Wright. And of course a special thanks to EnigmaPod who provided the soundtrack for this episode. And I'd also like to thank my Patreon patrons: Jax Marek, Steam Chest, De Groene V Absinthe, Steamy Wonders, Musical Wizardry, Mr. Lotus, Feline Lung, Kathy Ma, and Phoebe Darkling. If you want a personal thank you at the end of our episodes, please support us on Patreon. Till next time, and happy Halloween.